When you think of iconic directors, Wes Anderson, Stanley Kubrick, or even Tim Burton may come to mind. One director stands out even among these big names, Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino has many distinct characteristics that make him unique, and among these are his use of a nonlinear plot, unique point-of-view shots, and violence and gore. Each of these trademarks appears throughout all of Tarantino's films, such as the three that I will be examining: Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, and Inglourious Basterds. By examining Tarantino's unique trademarks, we can see what makes him a great director, as well as uncover the deeper meanings behind each of his choices. Tarantino's unique storytelling style is shown in his ability to weave conflicts of interest between each character in the plot, while also keeping the audience captivated and eagerly anticipating how the story will unfold. In the opening scenes of Pulp Fiction, we're introduced to Pumpkin and Honey Bunny, two robbers about to rob a diner. However, before revealing the outcome of their heist, Tarantino shifts focus to Vincent and Jules, and we learn more about them, almost forgetting about the two robbers at the start. The narrative then unexpectedly transitions to Butch, seemingly unrelated, yet essential in the overall plot. As the movie progresses, we can see the three paths starting to intersect. Vincent's boss is the enemy of Butch. Butch is trying to run away from Vincent and Jules, who are sent to kill him. And at the very end, we encounter the two robbers once again, when they try to rob the same diner that Vincent and Jules are sitting in.
A good majority of movies that come out, all right, you pretty much know everything you're going to see in the movie by the first 10 or 20 minutes. Now, that's not a story. A story is something that constantly unfolds. I'm not talking about like this quick left turn or a quick right turn or a big surprise. I'm talking about it unfolds, all right?
Tarantino's nonlinear storytelling allows the viewer to feel immersed in the world that he creates. Through the film, the audience can see the past, present, and future of the characters' lives, which gives us more insight into what makes them the way they are, as well as how the world around them has shaped their lives. Tarantino's films often have iconic videography. Some examples are the trunk point-of-view shot and the God's Eye shot, which are both used by Tarantino in almost every film. The God's Eye shot, shown through long shots from an objective point of view, creates a sense of distance and insignificance for the characters, while allowing viewers to observe violence without immersion and emotional distance. If Tarantino had chosen to do a close-up shot in the situation, the scene would have not been as impactful, because the viewer feels like the narrator or a spectator of the characters, which supports the nonlinear narrative that Tarantino aims to create, because it makes the movie feel almost like a storybook. Tarantino's signature trunk shot, a low-angle and sometimes subjective shot featured in nearly all his films, creates a sense of claustrophobia and builds tension, complementing his trademark extreme violence and gore. The shot always includes characters looking down at the camera, which makes the audience curious to know what's in the trunk and anticipate what is coming next. In Pulp Fiction, it serves to build intrigue around the mysterious briefcase and the actions of Jules and Vincent, while in Inglourious Basterds, the shot is used much more brutally, leaving the reader guessing as to what kind of violence the bastards have enacted upon their victims. I think showing the bastards' faces rather than the Nazi soldiers also leaves the viewer with a stronger impression of the characters and their personalities. The use of low-angle shots also emphasizes power dynamics, placing the audience in a position of vulnerability similar to the soldier on the ground. This portrayal adds complexity to the characters by making them more morally ambiguous. Tarantino's choice of shots is what makes his films so unique, and it is also what makes them so enjoyable. His movies use the contrast between putting the viewer in the position of the character and putting the viewer at a distance from the character to create a unique viewing experience that leaves the audience with an understanding of the characters and an insight into the world around them. Many film critics agree that Tarantino's violence, although it may seem simple to the regular viewer, is often used with a deeper meaning behind it. For example, Eric Brugara says, "What we don't speak about often enough in relation to his movies is how he uses violence for comedic effect and violence as a means to philosophize." This quote from a Medium article about Tarantino's use of violence as a tool for humor may seem contradictory, but watching any of his films indicates the pattern of gore and violence in an unexpectedly light-hearted manner. In Pulp Fiction, Vincent and Jules are taking Marvin to their boss for betrayal when Vincent accidentally shoots Marvin, filling the car with blood and guts. Their reaction to this is not shock, but instead annoyance, and they worry that they may get caught by the police, not that they have just accidentally shot and killed someone. Tarantino uses violence as a way to keep people shocked and to keep them engaged to see how the characters in the movie react. I agree with Eric Rugara, and I believe that Tarantino has mastered the skill of using violence as a satirical tool and manages to create meaning with scenes that would normally be for a shock factor. Another example in Pulp Fiction is the scene where Butch confronts Vincent, and during their altercation, Butch gains the upper hand and proceeds to violently beat up Vincent. However, Butch's girlfriend returns home unexpectedly, and in a sudden turn of events, the violent confrontation turns into a darkly humorous situation, as Butch and Vincent awkwardly attempt to explain their actions while trying to maintain their composure. This use of violence as a satirical tool highlights Tarantino's skill in subverting audience expectations and infusing his films with layers of irony and dark humor. Quentin Tarantino's talented filmmaking is shown by the unique techniques and narrative choices he uses to continuously challenge and subvert audience expectations. From his trademark chunk shots to his use of violence as a satirical tool, Tarantino demonstrates meticulous attention to detail and an understanding of storytelling. Ultimately, his films leave the viewer with something to think about,